Have I been converted? I might have been converted. You know what? Look at the lines. With that wide body. Just look at it. Just look at it. Alright, guys, we're doing commies down. So good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you guys are. Welcome back. We've got a Commodore in, and I've just realised it's got a 3.8. That's basically an R35 GTR engine with no turbos on it. So this thing is pretty much like, this is as freaking hectic as it gets. So it's basically a non-turbo GTR sedan. Up the V2. I know Troy Candy, you'll be proud to, you know, for us, we finally got one of these in the shops. And just want to see its greatness. But so far, it's pleased me. And I think some people are going to be really upset about what I'm about to say. But I reckon I could fit this rear end onto the AU. Like, if you look at this long enough, you can see the AU shape there. You 100% can. The only difference is the exhaust on the other side. But you know what? When your AU looks like this and it's GTR powered, it's got the high mount alternator relocation kit, just so you know when it dies, it's really easy to replace. And unlike the, you know, the GTR, you know, smaller GTRs, the VZs, this is actually in a location where it can be replaced, unlike the later model GTRs. You know what I'm talking about? Neither do I. So I've actually realised, this is a strange thing, but kind of cool. They've got the switches here because this thing's so violently powerful, you don't have time to do it yourself here on the door. You actually need to get your mate there to do your windows while you're like fully hectic on the thing, you know what I mean? You're just like, it's just too hectic. Like anything, mode set, I don't know what mode this is, but that's obviously like all drive on and off. And then that's like the amount of, you know, front diff adjustment that you want, just like on Forza. And you know it's hectic when you got to advertise the airbag. So this thing's just way too crazy. Oh my gosh, it's actually, the roof's coming off. I reckon this is pretty much, this is like an AU Falcon GTR. AU Falcon GTR, like, this looks so similar to an AU. This is insane. Like, honestly, this cluster, that's not far off. In fact, I'm gonna go sit and do a Falcon and it just shows what I mean. You see what I mean? Apart from the temperature being up here instead of there, it's basically the same shape almost. So I've got the beast up, and at first glance, it's got a ton of power sweat. So it's obviously running that like super high compression engine where it's like sucking the oil out the breathers. You're just eating anything, and that's what it's doing. So power steering is leaking because obviously the amount of aggression that you need to steer this thing straight, that's working overtime. And we've got out the back just to give it some sort of stability in terms of you know, handling the power. Well, we've got some racing slicks here. So this one's that super this is like for that dirt. So this here, when you cut the turn, it grips. And I don't know what happened here. This is weird to me. This is foreign. But anyway, right here, got to open this dog up and give it the finest, you know, zap. So see what happens with this thing. But safe to say, we're going to save another Commodore GTR from being oh, look at it, mate. Yeah, see, this thing, it's just so insane, it doesn't even have a bolt. you know, when you're running that much power, things just can't stay in, you know? It's just like a footy players. They run so hard that their body falls apart. I've also discovered a leak. I've got a feeling there's a water pump on this. I'll have to see if Nissan's got something in stock and overnight parts from Japan for a water pump for the GTR engine. Oh, so we've got the diff off on the GTR. So funny thing, for those people who don't know, obviously the Ford Falcon and the Holden Commodore, particularly the VT and the AU, they were basically the same era. So that's why they basically look the same. There's so many similar components in there. They got similar, so the calipers, the brake systems, all made by the same company, so they're super similar. Also, the diffs were basically the same. So these, you can interchange the centers. Obviously, the right has to be the right center because there's a few different, like M78, M75, M76, I think. So a few different ones, but yeah. So this is actually quite similar, which is really funny, but. Yeah, so they're made in the same spot, so they're basically the same shape. So this actually diffs is it's almost the same as the AU IRS diff. Not really the BAs, because the BA diff was actually made by another company. So it's very similar, but it's not the same. So, but the AU, or maybe the early BA was still made, but then I know the FGs were made by a different company, so they're different. Yeah, basically the same. So even these are 308 diff ratio, which is just like the AU. So I don't know, that's why AU is still more superior at this point in time, but I could be getting converted. Just look at it. Ooh. Berlina. Oh, well, that's all for the you know, the GTR commie. I know, I had a laugh. I thought it was kind of funny. But next week, you guys will get to see the Falcon. The camshaft is in, bow springs are in, heads on. Well, you'll get to hear it run next week. Also next week we'll be on the R33 with the sock into it. So we'll get a bit of that happening. But that'll be all. Thank you guys for watching. Check out the website for some stuff, grab some merch. We'll see you next week. Have a great one. Ciao.